In today's video we'll be discussing the hot hatch. Now, why am I talking about a petrol RS? Why am I talking in front of a petrol RS sporty hatch, and why am I talking about sporty hatches? What have they got to do with electric vehicles, and what's that got to do with my channel? Well, if you don't already know, Renault have their own version of sporty hatches called the Cup and Sport versions. And what a lot of people don't know, most people do if they follow sort of Zoe's, but Renault make a Zoe Sport. It's an extremely fast Zoe, and it's got horsepower of over 400 brake horsepower. I think it's 460 off the top of my head. Now, Nissan also do a sporty Leaf. The Leaf is called the Nismo, and that is another extremely fast car. And why am I talking about these cars? Well, I think Renault and Nissan should make their sporty hatch version of their electric cars. Why? Because I'm a petrol head. I love fast cars, but I also love my Zoe. I love the electric car. Now, an electric sporty hatch will absolutely kill the normal sporty hatch thing. Obviously, there'll still be petrol heads that want the sound of that sporty hatch, but let's be honest, would you rather have a sporty hatch that makes a loud noise and goes reasonably fast, or would you want one that makes a weird electrical whirring noise that goes super fast? And I mean really fast. There's no such thing as a slow EV. All EVs are very quick off the line. It's the top speed that's limited, because obviously most people drive EV drive it in a conscious way, so the top speed's not really been geared up. Now, if Renault make the Renault Sport Zoe, let's be honest, it's not going to be the 400 brake horsepower version. No way. It wouldn't be practical. It would make no sense for the road. But what I want to see Renault do is make one with 200 brake horsepower, because then it competes with all the STs and the RSs. It'll be unbelievably quick. I mean, yeah, it could compete with this RS here and be 300 odd brake or 356 brake horsepower. Yeah, that would be great. That'd be great fun. But Renault won't do that. The Zoe's too small. It wouldn't really be great. But 200 brake horsepower Zoe, little sporty Zoe, but not stripped out like the one you see on the on YouTube, the sport version. Obviously, still got all the comfort, the seats, leather. A spec version would be great. I mean, they could do a stripped out cut version later on, and I'm sure they'll sell that just as easy. But could you imagine how fast the Renault Sport would sell? I'd cancel a Model 3 order tomorrow to buy a Renault Sport Zoe. I'd cancel my Model 3 order. I'd say, here you go, Renault, take my money, I'll have one of them please right now. Most people would. They're a beautiful looking car, the Zoe, and if it had that kind of brake horsepower output, it would compete with the Model 3 because it'd be more fun. People don't just want the Model 3 because of the range and because of it's a Tesla. They want it for a bit of fun. People like electric vehicles because they're fun, they're gadgety. Early adopters buy an electric car because of the gadgets. A lot of us are gadget people. Obviously, there's a lot of eco people out there that buy them for eco reasons. I personally bought mine for cost, fun, and gadget. And that was the main reason I bought mine, and now I just love driving it. I mean, there's a lot of eco benefits, and that's a plus, but I mainly bought it for the gadgety, which is why I'd get rid of mine tomorrow and buy the sport version if Renault bought it out. I'd buy a brand new one, and I am a used car dealer, so for me to say I buy a new car, that says how much that car would enthrall me, get me excited again about vehicles, electric vehicles in particular. Now, what I want Renault to do with the Sport Zoe, I think it'd be very nice if they made it 2 motors. One motor would be fine, but 2 motors, then you're getting 4-wheel drive. So a front motor and a rear motor, and 200 brake horsepower. That is the key. 200 is a real nice point, but a 2-motor system would give you basically a 4-wheel drive system. Now, the Nissan one, the Nismo, weirdly, if Nissan brought the Nismo out and Renault didn't produce the Sport, I'd actually go to a Nissan Leaf. Did I just say I'd buy a Nissan Leaf? I think I did. Yeah, if they bring the Nismo out, I'll buy a Nissan Leaf. only if they bring it out before the Zoe Sport. But I'd buy the Nismo because it just looks bonkers. It looks fun. If it's got any sort of, you know, massive acceleration, power, fun, then yeah, I'd buy it. It'd be great. So I applaud you, Renault, and I applaud you, Nissan. Bring out the sporty EVs. People like me want them. You'll actually take orders away from Tesla Model 3s if you produce it. Now let's be honest, you ain't gonna get a Renault Sport for 20 grand. It's gonna be 25, 30 grand, because that's the price limit for sort of that kind of market. And a lot of people might go, well, I'm not going to pay that for that. But there'll be a lot of people like me that will want the sporty EV with a quick acceleration that will pay 25, 30 grand for that type of car. I mean, Renault sell the Renault Boast ZE. I think that's around about 20 grand. So to pay another 5, 10 grand for the sport version with a lot more sort of brake horsepower, speed, and the possibility of it having 2-motor 4-wheel drive sort of system, then yeah, it'd be great. By the way, it wouldn't be proper 4-wheel drive, but it'd be pretty close with 2 motors. They could have a front and rear differential, and that would essentially give you 4-wheel drive, permanent 4-wheel drive, of course. So if this video was a bit different to my normal, I'm trying to experiment with my channel, and I hope people enjoyed this video this week. I'll be making another video next week when my BMS update's been done. If you saw last week's video, I was unsuccessful getting it done at the dealer. So thanks for watching the video. Give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe at the bottom if you haven't already, and I'll see you again next week. Thanks very much. Bye.